And I want to remind you of this.
No good person still supports Donald Trump. That's a fact. I don't give a fuck if it's your mother, your brother, your father, your sister, your friend from fucking nursery school, your grandma's fucking book club buddy. I don't care who the fuck it is. I don't give a fuck if it's your pastor, your priest, your fucking whoever the fuck. If they support Donald Trump, they are a piece of fucking shit. That, my friends, is the truth. Enjoy your day.
Yeah, and have the day you voted for, bitch. Don't, we cover this and fuck around and find out, but don't come to me whining. I don't, because you voted for this shit. I don't care how high it got. I care for those of us who didn't vote for this shit. But I don't care. I don't care you losing your farm. Fuck your farm. Fuck your mama. Fuck your daddy. That's your business. Now, some of us are coming in for this. One of my favorite segments. Get ready, the choo-choo is back. Let's get on that Black News Soul Train, ladies and gentlemen. The talented Mr. Drayton and T'Challa presents the Black News. Hit it.
This is Black News.
Motherfucking bass line is sickening. I just heard it. So I like to get my news started. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the Black News for July the 11th, year of our Lord 2026. At the top of the show, I hit you off with some late breaking news that just happened today, motherfucker. Let me tell you something. And moreover, let's talk about Israel says it's prepared to strike Iran yet again. So hell with the ceasefire, bitch. That's all over and done with. You know what I'm saying? Right. And there is a story floating around that one of the top generals had to stop Poopy Pants from nuking Iran last week.
Get out of here.
Yes, sir.
I mean, someone's got to do it. I'm like, because honestly, when you talk about the people who voted for Trump, there are some people who are liberal or in the middle who voted for Trump for the chaos of it all. Yeah. Like they just wanted to shake things up and show how mad they were at the establishment. But you don't do that with the guy who has the nuclear codes, right?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck were you thinking about? You know what I mean?
Some things you don't fuck around with, right?
That's weird.
Some things you do not.
And to be honest, I am surprised we haven't nuked anyone yet.
That is not funny. I don't know why.
I know how funny.
It's not
funny, but like it's amazing.
I am so sad.
Why haven't we?
Why haven't we?
The only thing that's keeping me happy right now is that beautiful blue shirt you have on.
That's what I
it's
thought.
a floral pattern. It's like, floral patterns are for men too. So.
Oh yeah.
Right, I just feel like this episode of America just is this. Every fucking day it gets, and just when you think, it can't get any worse, I turn on my news sources and Amanda tells me this. All right, Amanda, queued up. You ready? Go.
Welcome to Indiana, Nana Boo Boo. It's time to talk about Donald Trump's L's for the week so far. It's only Tuesday. Since you started attacking DEI, white men have had a lot more trouble getting into state schools because all of those really good students of color are just going to state schools now instead of Ivy Leagues. So you've destroyed men's ability to go to college, and now you're destroying their ability to get a job. Since you took office, men have lost 500,000 jobs. Women are doing okay, because women will always do okay. You tried to convince the fellas that feminism was bad for them. Turns out it's you. Oh, and you jinxed us in the World Cup, you piece of trash. You made a call to get that player's suspension delayed, and then we lost 4-1, even though he was in the game. Everything you touch shrivels and dies, but you should have known that just by watching your wife's body language. You asked a judge to fast-track your appeals about the voter roll lawsuits, and that judge was like... Ew. One of the leading voices in the anti-vax movement claimed that vaccines killed her children. She made that claim on a podcast backed by RFK Jr. Turns out the thing that killed her children was her. She's been arrested for murdering them. Humans don't have any natural predators, but children do, and it's Republicans. You tried to give Zohran Mamdani a bunch of crap for recommending that New Yorkers set their AC to 78 degrees, and then you had to frantically delete thousands of web pages on your website because you also recommended that people set their AC to 78 degrees. Oh. Rumors are swirling that Barry Weiss is going to be out at CBS as soon as the merger is over because she has destroyed it. Do I need to go back to that thing about how everything you touch shrivels and dies? Wait, so not fair. Oh, okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene says that she's going to start a third party, an America First party, because MAGA isn't far enough to the right. So her and Tucker, they're going to... You know what? You go for it, Marge. You go for it. And maybe one day I'll stop thinking I'm looking at Ron Perlman every time your picture pops up on my screen. Incumbents are falling left, right, and center, no pun intended, and that has congressional Republicans in a tizzy. Oh my gosh, I think we're going to lose the midterms. Yeah. The big, beautiful bill is so unpopular, and you are so completely failing to rebrand it. The Democrats are talking about it twice as much as Republicans on the campaign trail. You tried to get people out there saying working tax, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not working. You're usually much better at marketing than this. A man sent an angry email to DHS, and so DHS came to his house to intimidate him? Instead, he's suing. Nobody's scared of you. You are completely failing to destroy the American spirit. 150 people from 50 different countries, including some from your travel bans, were sworn in as citizens at Mount Vernon on the 4th of July. Suck it! It's okay, babe. I'm sure someone out there is scared of you. Maybe the butler at the White House who keeps having to chase after you when you steal the silverware.
So let me just first say, I am not a 78 degrees man. AC is a cool 70. And even in the wintertime, that motherfucker was 75. Because I'm hot.
74. Yeah, we're 74.
Really? Yeah, y'all 74. I am 70. Because I'm hot. And my body.
Hey, before you move on, like it's funny that she touched upon that because it was like every government site that had at one point advocated for the 78 degrees, right? All went away. And it wasn't just so much that Mamdani was saying it, so much as you're painting him as a communist who's got communist ideas. Here's one of them. But it's actually our idea when we were in charge the last time and the people before that, because that just makes economic sense for a person with air conditioning. But we want to frame it as communism, so now we got to erase all of that.
Right. And this is a thing that's worked, I should say. It's weird as it sounds. It worked for Trump pretty well and a lot of his acolytes. And it sounds crazy out of context, but the context is people feeling like economic or, conservatism in the sense of, environmental conservatism has made their lives worse. And there are actual instances in which it has gone too far in some places. Yeah. And so, like, for instance, you could win an election over, like, they want you to use paper straws. Arr!
I mean, that's just a sect of people who are bothered by that. But they're the same sect of people who voted for this douche. So, yeah.
Exactly. But you can do that. I mean, they would have these little complaints like, you got to wash your dishes twice in your dishwasher because it doesn't really wash your dishes.
Now, to be clear, then, like eating healthy is expensive, right?
Yes. Yeah, there you go. That's a one. Or they will talk about, like, the healthy food that, Californians eat and, like, pick on you, kale eating, matcha drinking.
I mean, because they want to seem to be super macho, but they themselves are not, right? Like, we talked about this last week on your show, G, when they were like, we reinstated the vaccine policy. You want to think that you can just go, I can survive not getting flu vaccine. No, you can't, right? You're not superior You're ordinary, like all the rest of us. Eat your
Right.
fucking vegetables. Shut the fuck up.
Well,
Take
the
your
interesting part is I love how we're all, as a society in America, a part of their fucking experiment, and we have to die before they know it. It doesn't work. Only 1 million people died. Let's and I believe in science, and this, if it makes me a liberal to believe in science, to care about my fellow countrymen, and so this is where we are. And I mean, those of us who deemed, I have a clip coming up how to spot somebody that's banging. We'll talk about that later in the show. But it's amazing. Like, what in the gay hell? What are you talking about? Why do we have to live in a country where we have to guess our neighbors' political orientation to know if it's safe or not? You know what I mean?
That part.
Like I went to see the fantabulous, wonderful, juicy, squeeze my meat Jill Scott last night. Wonderful. To whom it may concern to her. If you see the T-shirt here, Albert's back there. Beautiful. But I caught an Uber to the concert. Okay, but I'm always careful I try to get someone that looks like maybe on our team. It's crazy. Film supporters as well, but I want to be safe. I don't want to ride uncomfortable. I don't want to I don't want to listen to Trace Adkins all the way down the road. You know what I mean? So it's that thing that we're now in this country. But Malcolm, if you thought that was hilarious, there is more.
Call me James Madison. It's time to talk about Donald Trump's L's for the week. Me and James Madison, we're the same height. 95% of the country says we're in an affordability crisis. 95%, 95, that's everyone. It's just the 5% left think that the earth is flat. So they don't count. This is the only thing independents vote for. Just to remind you. Whatever, I'll just get the post office not to send them ballots. Now. You already told the USPS not to send people mail-in ballots unless they were on some list that you made, and a judge blocked that order. You asked that judge to pause the block, and the judge said, ew. Now you're going after the Election Assistance Commission. We're going to talk about that later. Is somebody panicking about November? Fine, I'll just get the names of all the poll workers. No! A judge will not allow you to figure out the names of everybody who worked the polls in Fulton County in 2020. You're going to die knowing, deep down inside, that you lost that election. And nothing you will ever do will change that. Anyway, Maryland is going to hold a special session to redraw their maps. Going to go from 8-1 to 9-0. 0 Republicans. 0. That's how we like it. Speaking of election fraud, it turns out Ken Paxton, the Republican Senate nominee in Texas, does it a lot. The last 6 elections he's voted in, he has not lived in the place he says he lives. A judge has also tossed out your $4 billion lawsuit against the Washington Post for defamation. Did you ask Jeff E.B. before you filed that lawsuit? Did you ask him? He's going to put you on one of his penis rockets and send you to space. Oh. Yet another Republican official has been arrested for child abuse. And when they found him, he was passed out in his car next to a crack pipe. Stay classy, GOP. Once again, the only natural predator of human children is Republicans. Remember that judge you arrested at the beginning of your term? Guess how much jail time she's getting? 0. $5,000 fine. Now, since you spend the entirety of your day suing people, I'm sure you know exactly how quickly a lawyer will earn $5,000 in billable hours. She's fine. You're dumb. You lose. Bye. Democrats in Indiana are fielding candidates for almost every single legislative race, and Republicans super aren't. Republicans have left 20 seats unchallenged. Come on, up your game. Or don't. I know you're not really capable of that. A Florida House district has flipped blue because Republicans are stupid. The sitting Republican delegate did not file her paperwork correctly, so she's disqualified. Oh, and 3 Republican officials in Florida have been charged with misdemeanor voter fraud for sending out fake sample ballots with the wrong names on them on purpose. And Pete Hegseth can't even get people to shave. Nobody cares. Oh, and you begged a judge to put your name back on the Kennedy Center, and that judge was like, Ew. It's okay, babe. I'm sure when you're gone, we'll keep your name up on all the other stuff. Pinky promise.
Before we talk about this, let's get some comments. Gas prices were immediately affected here by the end of the ceasefire. Yeah, I mean, and we have no incentive to change them because the Strait of Hormuz is still, that's what I like to call it, the Strait of Hormuz. My favorite, Hormuz, yeah. My favorite man from across the pond type effective. How are you doing, sir?
Boy.
Cheerio. Top of the morning to you, friend. Top of the morning. Is that Irish? Top of the morning, laddie.
It's mostly like 7 p.m. there.
Right. It is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's plus
bottom
6.
of the evening to you. Bottom of the evening to you, sir. Bottom of the evening. Right. I like that. Sammy says I got my AC on a comfortable 72 degrees and I'm feeling frosty. Hey. Ain't nothing wrong with feeling frosty. I'm like that, yo. I'm feeling frosty. So let's get into, I don't even know where to start on this motherfucker's L's, but I would love to find my mouse. But first of all, talk about, I don't know what this thing is with the GOP and being PDFs and it's damaging and hurting children. Like, what?
It's a modus operandi. I think that's what you need to have in order to be an older. It's like if you're 30 and up in the GOP, I don't know why. It's like a thing, I guess, that's been going on for so freaking long that it's just a thing. It can't be a coincidence anymore. Like we passed that 3 years ago.
Okay.
Right.
So, like, my theory is like the theory of power, and I really think the
instant pedophilia.
Well, pedophilia is just one will to power. I think this is one, like a philosopher called it. Power is just being able to do whatever it is you want to do. And so pedophilia is just one of those examples where if you were born a pedophile, if you liked underage children, the state and society would restrict you from being able to do that. But if your entire thing is to accumulate money and power, it means you can do whatever you want, including the things that society normally prohibits. And I think that's the reason why people who value power over facts, over reality, over hurting other people, you will find that they protect pedophiles because they want them to protect them for whatever crimes they do. It's always,
Makes sense. That's why I always come to you with things I don't understand.
I'm not discounting that. I just think of when you think of way back in the day, hundreds of years ago, or whatever, when 14-year-old girls were be married by older men, right? It feels like that's where we are still. That mentality in an older white man just seemed like it never went away. And then if you add power to that, it feels like it just supersedes all other stuff. And it's just too weird that it's all of them or most of them. There's a good number that is not, right? But the fact that there's so many rotten apples in their bunch, it feels like that's a prerequisite.
Well, it feels like
you got to remember. No, you got to remember. At one point, there was no such thing as child abuse. Honestly, like your children were your property.
But look at how
other people
child labor laws now. You're saying exactly the same thing, but look at how this administration and this group of Republicans are now deeming you're an adult at a certain age. You can start working in these 14 years old without labor restrictions. It's literally as if this group of people, being a child is a means to an end. If you make it to adulthood, then we use you to make more children. But it's really like some weird, sick aversion to leaving children to just be children. It's weird.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, it's turning people into commodities, right?
Right.
And not really caring what damage you do to people. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys are both saying the same thing, which make it very valid points. And then the other thing, of course, the sheer hypocrisy, switching gears here, the sheer hypocrisy of, there's tons of cases of voter fraud. Bitch, because you doing it.
Seriously,
you know what I mean? It's you the bitch. You know, you are the one reporting the fire and setting the house on fire.
I loved how it was all right-wing media or right-wing influencers who were like, I'm just going to go down to California and I'm just going to vote for, and it won't even stop me because, and they were stopped and they weren't able to, but it's because you believe that that's something you can do. Why? Because it's something you do.
But what do we? I know the answer to this, but it has to. I'm ramping up for the next story. Like, what in the world when the Supreme Court, one of the checks and balances on everything, has ceded power to the president, and the president shits himself constantly. I'm going to mention that every chance I get, by the way, because he shits himself constantly. You know, he's unconscious. He falls asleep, and these are the things that we have to deal with as a nation. I brought up at the top of the show, 40 countries are getting together and saying, we, led by our neighbors to the north and our neighbors to the south, Mexico and Canada, we're saying that you are so terrible, America. Fuck you. Happy 250th birthday. But, you know, so Trump did something the other day because the Supreme Court said you could do it, is get rid of the different boards if they don't succumb to your will, if they don't acquiesce, if they don't acquiesce to what it is that you want to do. So he checked this out from Abby Phillips, the beautiful Abby Phillips from CNN. Here we go.
Some breaking news tonight. President Trump has fired the leadership of the Election Assistance Commission. This is a commission that's responsible for providing support for election security to the states. It is a bipartisan commission, and Trump has now apparently gutted it completely. This is coming at a time when the president has been very transparent. He wants to change the voting rules. In fact, just this week, the New York Times reported that the administration is threatening to withhold anti-terrorism funding from states that refuse to make changes to their voting rules. But this commission is also responsible for certifying election machines, which has been a key target of President Trump's anger, especially over the 2020 election. The Brennan Center tonight responded to this by saying that the commission by law is required to have 4 members, half of which, 2, are from the opposite party. So it's bipartisan by law. Now, it's unclear if President Trump plans to name new members to the commission or simply leave this commission without leadership altogether. But there is a law in place that requires that it remains bipartisan. One of the other reasons that this could be happening is, remember, not too long ago, the Supreme Court just said that the president has pretty broad leeway to fire members of independent commissions. That essentially paved the way for this to happen tonight. We're going to discuss this and the implications for the upcoming midterm elections, which are now just a few months away. And President Trump continues to push for major election changes while we are in the middle of an election cycle. We'll see you at 10 p.m.
Thank you so much. I'd like to say thank you to the beautiful and talented Abby Phillips. Thank you so much. Now, my take on that is it's only backfiring for them. It's not working as intended. But again, so I know people say, well, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. It's the fact that you keep trying it. You push up against like a child. You know, you haven't seen a kid, your mother say, get away from that, and you just inch up to it, and you inch up to it, and you inch up to it. Now, it might take you all day long to fuck whatever up that she told you not to, but you work your way around to it because, you know, you think you know better. But it's just that thing.
I was going to say, like, the, what is it, the Voter Safe Act?
Yes,
it's really just designed for them to be able to steal an election if they want to.
If they want to.
I mean, the criteria that they set up eliminates half of the folks who are Democratic leaning, right? That's the criteria number one. Number two, I was laughing earlier. It's not really funny, but this is just like a really bad season of G.I. Joe, where this administration is Cobra Commander. And they keep trying a new scheme at the top of every half hour. And at the end of every half hour, they get thwarted, right? But they have bunches of schemes. Let's not forget they had a whole ass book that they had everybody available to read. You read it or you didn't read it, but they had a whole archetype plan. They
right.
For every win that we get, which is great, they have other shit planned for them. Let's not forget, on the country's birthday of 250, our Führer wanted to let everybody know that they have stuff in the works that will fix it so that Republicans will be in charge for the next 100 years.
Yeah, but that's.
I mean, they got plans. Whether they'll work, that just tells you
it's not because
they have plans. Whether it'll work.
So, I mean, the way that you would do that is simply to completely eliminate anyone in the Republican Party who would not go along with Trump. So if there's no opposition within his own party, then that's the only way it could work. Then you remove all
nothing
the
past these fuckers. Put nothing past them, Malcolm. If you
but this is the thing.
you know they did.
I know. I'm just saying. This is when you remove people from the only way that removing Democrats from the administration of elections matters is if the Republicans that you install will just steal the results for you and manufacture them. But here's the thing. I think here's the plus side. I don't know if it's good or not. If they still win an election, the way that people sometimes theorize in their ways, you will know. It won't be like some big secret. Like I'll be pretty much in the upper.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only comfort I can give you is that you will know it's coming.
Well, also, Randy, I would like you to know that there are some Republicans that believe in a sovereign republic, so they don't have enough in their own party. As you see people like Marjorie Taylor Greenpants,
correct?
She's maybe and stuff like that. So there are and then so if worst case scenario, the plurality of this economy of our United States are blue states, and so these states can effectively starve the federal government.
Correct.
And if you don't have any money to steal or do anything with, you have to quit. You know,
that's a good point. Yeah.
These are all logical arguments. These people just seem like they just want to win.
No. That's what they want you to believe. They want you to say.
No, I'm saying he's right about they want to win, but we can talk about them.
Yeah,
you can say no.
And that's the part I was pointing out, fellas, before you get to these comments. That's the part I was pointing out is like legit. That's why it's like a bad season. Every episode they keep trying something, but they have that many things off rip that they can keep trying. We just got to. You hit it earlier, Greg. We're just like they want to wear you down. Just can't let them. But they got all these things.
It's true. You got to always be vigilant and understand it. It really could be Cobra, right?
Yeah.
Like, Cobra's not impossible.
Right. But I want to remind our viewers, your superpower or our superpower is voting. Do not let them talk you out of it. Oh, how long? I got to wait. I got to stand. I got to catch an Uber or ride with a friend or drive a milk truck. I don't care what the fuck. That one cumulative, that one opinion will get together with your neighbor's opinion and you will make a difference. Sammy says at this point, being 6 years out from when the election was ran, what difference does it make? He's currently halfway this term. He's crying over spilt milk, fucking us over, trying to be legendary. I love it.
So here's the thing I would say why it matters. It's not about the facts. It's not about the facts. It's about loyalty. Right. So like one of the first things of indication after that was even people, they would just, I forget how in politics speak, for the longest time they would try to just equivocate about whether he won or not. They said, no. You have to literally say he won.
Oh, they literally won't.
Yeah.
They won't.
Well, that is, so to piggyback off of that, excuse me, Randy, I didn't run this story because I don't give a fuck, but to prove a point, the Mike Lindell, the My Pillow fuckface, just filed bankruptcy. Right, this motherfucker has lost $300 million propagating a lie. Go ahead.
So he's filing bankruptcy now.
Yeah,
in the middle of a campaign too.
Because not too long ago, the administration who's in charge of the committee that was originally suing acquiesced for a certain undisclosed amount of money that he was just able to pocket because they squashed the whole thing.
Whatever he earned or got, he's now owes attorneys millions and millions.
That made me so happy inside on the day when I didn't get happy.
But people lose law licenses. They don't go any. Nobody from his last administration has a job, and they're complaining about
right. Who's dead?
Yeah, he's on. They don't have a job, and that's the other thing too. They trying to get out to say, "Well, I saw the lights, and please hire me." People are like, no,
it's too little, too late. You were there inside the building,
right? But I'm going to tell you something. This is what happens when you don't have. I'm not going to be a conspiracy. I'm not going to use this air to be a conspiracy theorist. But this is what happens when you don't have the support of your fellow country. Okay, exactly. Point blank. But speaking of not having the support of your fellow countrymen.
Hi, MAGA folks. Look, I am not going to try to sell you on communism. It's not for me, and I can't grow the beard. But I would like to ask you to step back and consider if the threat actually is that looming. Since no one in power in the opposition party is a communist, or says they're a communist. Plus, we're all still waiting for news about the drag queens, pet eaters, migrant caravans, Sharia law, and all the other boogeymen the right has said in recent memory are all on the precipice of ripping this country apart. I know I've said it before, but open your American history textbook, except in Texas and Florida, those are more pamphlets, to literally any page, and you will read about some group that we used to demonize as ruining the foundation of this country, many of which that now we don't even question as a welcome addition to its bedrock. But here's my question. Do you think Donald Trump could just explain what communism is? Not editorialize, not fearmonger, but just define it. Let alone socialism and, dare I to dream, what differentiates it from democratic socialism. And if not, then what are his credentials for telling us exactly what we should be afraid of? That's the problem. A lack of interest in knowing anything about a subject that you disagree with. I'm not a Christian, but I engage with Christianity, so I'm informed what it is that I don't agree with. And by extension, whether or not I should reconsider. I'm not a fan of gun culture, but I read about it, so I at least know what they're advocating for, so I'm better informed as to why I think it's a bad idea. And the reason that you might think that this is prickly, even to just consider anything besides eagle boner capitalism, is because you've been conditioned by the right that anything that you don't already understand is a threat. But if you're more scared of having terms defined for you than a person who can't define those terms telling you what to believe, then you aren't engaging in an honest way with the world around you. The real story of this country, whose birthday we all just made a really big deal out of, is the assimilation of many cultures, beliefs, and ideas over time to create that more perfect union. And the impediment is and always has been people who have decided that progress needs to stop at whatever arbitrary line they're personally scared of crossing.
Period. I couldn't have said that more, but I go through lots of, thank you, Malcolm. I know you're going to be like, you sure do. I go through lots of content to get to these nooks and crannies and corners.
Yeah.
Knowledge and stuff like that. I ran across this. I had to watch it about 7 times because and I compared it to everything that I've said in the last 3 months. This is a perfect encapsulation of what I'm trying to say. This is how you defeat bitches like that. You know what I mean? Because they can't, at the end of the day, Randalorian, they cannot, like I'll put it in very seriously, they cannot, when you don't have facts and truth on your side, and it may seem like, but life is like a good movie, my friend. You know what I'm saying? There's a beginning, there's the honeymoon period, there's the arc of the story. In the end, the good guy usually wins. But I remember a quote from Barack Obama, and then we're going to get around, this is the last for this segment. Barack Obama, this is a quote from somebody else, but I remember it from him. The arc of the universe always bends towards goodness, and justice. So you just believe that, hold on to it, because even our own Constitution is just an agreement between white gentlemen. We have no place in that. And the fact that we've made it this far, we're able to still live, and it seems oppressive and it seems stuffy, like we all have a head cold that we can't get rid of, or a rash on our ass because we sat in something that somebody else.
I like the head cold analogy better.
Yeah, thank you. But it's this too, my mother, and I sometimes I blame Christian. I think Christianity oversimplifies things sometimes to make people feel better about what they're going through. But I had to acquiesce to the old saying in the piece of the spiritual that says, "This too shall pass."
Yeah.
Like
one of the things I like what he said was, you have to recognize that sometimes you're not having an honest argument with people, that they believe certain things because they want to fit in with the group, or that they want to show their loyalty, and they know what they're saying is bullshit. They barely believe it.
Bullshit.
So,
every person that you just described has started every conversation once you tried to correct them off with this. Show me, prove it to me.
Right. They're not.
You know how to do it to yourself. It's not my job to do it, but you don't want me to, because you literally want me to use one talking point for you to try to make your whole brainwash.
So,
for sure.
And so this is why I believe that statement to be true about the arc of the moral universe bends towards justice, is because eventually their ideas and their mistakes hit up against reality. And it is going to take them a while sometimes to learn that lesson. So it's not for us to teach them. The universe teaches them that lesson. You have to get their ass kicked by reality in order for them to actually realize that saying and believing in true things actually matters.
Correct.
Like, until reality smacks you in the face and says, "Wake the fuck up, this is reality," I don't think you're necessarily encouraged.
I mean, that shit should happen when you were a teen. To be an adult who needs that, it's weird. But I feel you, Malcolm.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I think to some degree we all need it. Some people more than others, but
this is true.
Yeah.
Well, before we end this segment of the Black News that I love so dearly, Sammy has something to say. Just like the Christians will quickly call something witchcraft or something is of the devil because it doesn't coincide with their moral beliefs or ethics, like drag queens, gays, and democracy. So,
none of which are groping children. None of which.
Right. But, real quick before we end the Black News, I like to say everything evolves. Like the Catholic Church went from you can't get divorced. Now you got to ask the church, fuck the gays. And now the gays, as long as you don't get married in the church, your priest can perform the wedding outside of the church. Don't eat fish on Fridays. Now you're not necessarily going to hell if you don't eat the fish. I mean, the Bible even changes, correct? About to be laughing at the truth.
Our language changes. Yeah, our understanding of
language was the same. Our understanding changed.
Yeah. The word homosexuality didn't appear in the Bible until 1947 until a bitch changed it. So
right. They do evolve together. And one of the things I would say is that, we don't have complete knowledge of how people actually lived. I think this is another thing about history. It's always fascinating to me is that there's so many times when we learn something that we thought was true is not true, and things that you would think would have been discovered take even till now to discover happened. So even our understanding of the past evolves over time.
Agreed.